asked John Pingo to come up, and John is the director of the Goldie Floberg Center. And as I mentioned, he is, I'm going to have to stop saying that he's new, relatively new. He's kind of seasoned now. And I mentioned that we would like to incorporate a session of Ignite presentations at the conference. And there's really no way to solicit that sort of thing until people know a little bit more about it. And so we've asked John here to do one today, and we're going to see how it goes. And I am just thrilled. So thank you very much, John.
Thank you. Well, it'll take a second to get my computer booted up here. So I'll kind of fill the air with a short little story. I used to I used to teach part-time at a local community college in the Rockford area, and I taught an introduction to developmental disabilities class. And one of the things I thought was very important was for all my students was they needed to do a public speaking. So I insisted on multiple speeches throughout the class. I thought that was a skill that as they go on into their professional lives that they were going to need to hone. And invariably it was a terrifying experience for many of the students. So I would, for the first assignments were due and people had to get up and start speaking in front of folks, I'd tell them my basic rule of thumb of what you need to do to pass your first assignment. You need to avoid the 3 P's. If you can get through your presentation without puking, peeing yourself, or passing out, you're going to get an A on the first assignment. And so it is my hope that I will be able to get over that bar today with this presentation. So this is the first Ignite presentation I've ever given, and they're a little different. Timing is really important, so if we could fire up. All right, well, hi, I'm John. A month or so ago, Chris contacted me and asked if I'd be interested in giving an Ignite presentation to the IARF membership. I said, sure, that sounds like a lot of fun. Then I had to Google Ignite presentation to see what I got myself into. Fortunately, the concept is very simple. Ignite presentations share topics of personal or professional interest using 20 slides, 15 seconds per slide, 5 minutes total. The goal is to get people excited and talking about a topic. You want to avoid lots of text, only have one idea per slide, and try to tell a story. This is a story of how we have gone from being a reluctant provider of at-home day training services to an agency excited about doing day training differently. It all started when we had a handful of people served, unable to receive services from our local DT provider for various reasons. A couple rose to 4 people. That eventually increased to 6. Today we have 10. We're not satisfied with our program. It was created out of necessity, but we don't think there's any reason that these folks can't thrive in services out of their homes. We're also concerned about the lack of regulations for at-home DT. When I asked DHS about regulations, I got referred to a blurb in the program manual that I could recite in 15 seconds. I'm not a fan of over-regulation, but 15 seconds worth of text leaves a little too much open to interpretation for my taste. So we looked at the problem through the lens of our mission. We have people who are doing well in their homes but don't have a day training provider. We concluded that to empower and enrich our people's lives, we need to develop day training services. There was one major obstacle, though. This guy. Not long ago, I didn't want to have anything to do with day training. We provided DT back when I was a DSP 17 years ago. It was not a fun experience for me or the people I served. The experience really soured me to developing a DT program. But as the number of people joining our at-home program grew, we decided we had to at least consider developing services. We knew what we didn't want to do. We knew we wanted to do something fun and meaningful, so okay, where do we go from here? Long ago, I attended a seminar by an executive director who really was into frogs. He said something that really stuck with me. It was along the lines of, I'd rather be a pirate than join the Navy. I always took that as, don't be afraid to learn from others. So taking that advice, I went out to other organizations to learn from them. We haven't been disappointed. We saw happy people exercising choices throughout their days, moving freely between classes and activities. We saw fun programs focused on adult learning and continuing education as opposed to the day training I remembered from all those years ago. We've seen earned income ventures, micro businesses, supported employment programs that create gainful employment for people served. There are businesses that run from the gamut from making toilet paper to recycling just about anything you could think of, except toilet paper. Opportunities to be an important part of the community weren't limited to employment. We've seen people building lives of meaning and dignity through volunteering in their community. This is where I catch my breath for a second. We've seen innovations big and small that showed us that companies like Google and Apple don't have a monopoly on creativity. Whether it's using old vinyl records to decorate a music studio's wall, to having persons served offer jobs to applicants, we always walked away with great ideas. Our learning trips have shown us that day training can be done differently, and is being done differently. We learned that thinking outside the box isn't going to be enough. We need to throw away the box. We need to let our imaginations run wild. Imagine a program without walls. Instead of coming to a day training building, you attend classes at the local community college. Help others volunteering. Work in the community making real money. Your days would be filled with meaning and you'd have opportunities to grow. Hard, yes. Worth it, definitely. I'm not a Pollyanna, though. Even in the brief time we spent with agencies on our learning trips, the amount of time and effort they put into building and maintaining their excellent services was obvious and intimidating. Funding and regulatory challenges were significant and ever present. But it was obvious to us as we visited our fellow agencies, despite the many challenges, that there was a lot of dreaming going on. And more importantly, people are making those dreams a reality every single day. Day training is being done differently. Does our story have a happy ending? I don't know the answer yet. But where we felt apprehension before, we now feel excitement. We're working with the people we serve and their families, and we have a plan. We know that we can build a program that adds meaning to the lives of people we serve. We know it's possible because we've seen it. In fact, we've been inspired to work with people we serve to form our first entrepreneurial partnership. Here's a sneak peek at the first treat made by Goldie's Gourmet Goodies. It's an inside-out cupcake called the King. Think banana, peanut butter, and bacon. Sounds crazy, but it's delicious. We have returned from each learning trip energized and with a stronger conviction that we can build a program that does right by the people we serve. I want to thank the organizations that have taken the time to host our trips. If we succeed, it would be in no small part a result of what we learned from you. Well, that's my time, folks. Thanks for listening. If you're interested in learning more about Ignite presentations, please check out this website. They got a ton of great examples, and thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun.